Hey, I'm Matt, and I'm actually heading home from work. Got to get off a little early today, and I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder again. Let's see. Recap. Paul George asked for a trade to the Clippers. He was traded to the Clippers. Russell Westbrook wanted out. He was traded to the Houston Rockets. I don't know if Jeremy Grant, I don't know if he wanted out per se, but he was traded to Denver. Now, Paul George was traded for two players, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and horrible with names. But for two players and essentially, 5 draft picks and the rights to a couple swaps or something like that. Or 5 first-round draft picks and a rights to swap 2 years in the first round. And Jeremy Grant was traded for 1 first-round draft pick. Russell Westbrook was traded for 2 first-round draft picks and Chris Paul. And more than likely, Chris Paul's going to be traded. And I'm listening to these podcasts talking about it. And even on the radio, I hear everyone talk about, what team are you going to root for this year? You know, what team are you going to root for this year? Are you going to root for Houston or Russell Westbrook is? Or are you going to pick another team to root for? Really? I'm going to root I almost said the university. I'm going to root for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay? Because I am a Thunder fan, win, lose, or draw. I am a Thunder fan. And I'm actually pretty darn excited because the building process, it is going to be fun. The building process. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is a stud, and he has the potential to be an all-star in the league. We got him at point guard, so we got a young player. We have Steven Adams, who is still there, who is 25 years old. And that's young for a center, because there's a lot of centers that are in their mid-30s or early 30s to late 30s. So he has at least 5 to 7 more good years in him. And so we're building around those two pieces. And Steven Adams, that tough, no-nonsense player. And so he's a good piece to build around. And I'm really looking excited. All these stinking draft picks. I think they have from 2020, which is next year, the draft in 2020 to 2026. I think they have 15 first-round picks. In a 6-year span, they have 15 first-round picks and the right to swap even more. I think there's a year or two where they have 3 first-round picks. It's holy cow. And they even have the rights to swap a couple more years. It is absolutely insane. 15 first-round picks, including their own, and also the ones that they traded for. They have 15 first-round picks. And that is just insane. And we might have seen one of the best trades ever go down. One of the best trades ever go down with Paul George. And we got 2 players, one of them a young stud, and 5 first-round draft picks. That might be the best haul anyone has ever gotten in NBA league history. So, but that's not all I'm going to talk about. You know, I am excited for the future because I believe Sam Presti can build. I mean, with the first, he had 3 lottery picks, which more than likely he's going to have lottery picks. Whether it's one of the picks is a lottery pick and a lottery pick is top 12. And there's a top 12 pick in the first round. And he has had, or whether he has lottery picks with one of those picks, ends up being a lottery pick, or he trades up to get into the lottery. There have been 4 players he's picked with lottery picks. 1, Kevin Durant. Next one, Russell Westbrook. Next one, James Harden. Next one, Steven Adams. 3 of those have been NBA MVPs. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. 3 of them have been MVPs. 3 of them are future Hall of Famers. Steven Adams, he's one of the toughest guys in the league. He's always voted 1 or 2 toughest guys in the league. And he is just a beast. And I will be shocked if he does not make an all-star game, at least one all-star game in his career. I will be shocked. So, man, when Sam Presti has first-round picks, or lottery picks, he hits them out of the park. Okay, now I want to talk about the first 11 years, the first chapter in the Thunder organization. The first chapter in the Thunder organization, they moved to Oklahoma City from Portland and had 1 year where the first year where they missed the playoffs, and then they made the playoffs in the next 10 years. They made the playoffs in the next 10 years. Okay? The first chapter in the Thunder organization is going to be a story of injuries, because I believe injuries, when Patrick Beverley dove into Russell Westbrook's knee and took him out, caused him to have surgery right away in his knee. I believe that was a year they could have won the championship. Okay? And it'll be a story of almost when we got to the NBA Finals against Miami, when they had LeBron and Wade and Chris Bosh. It'll be a story of Kevin Durant giving up, because we were up 3-1 on Golden State, and he flat gave up. There's not a single thing you can say to change my mind. He gave up. He did not want to win an NBA championship with Oklahoma City. He had already, in his mind, he was already playing for Golden State. He gave up. It'll be a story of injuries, Kevin Durant giving up, and Russell Westbrook giving us hope. That's what the first chapter, the highlights from the first chapter of the Oklahoma City Thunder will be. Now this next chapter, rebuilding, it is yet to be written, but it is sizing up to be a pretty good chapter. I mean, you got to think, the first 11 years of your organization, I know they came from the Sonics. They came from Seattle, and they were the Sonics. But the first chapter of the Oklahoma City Thunder is 11 years long, and you make the playoffs 10 of those 11 years, to include one NBA Finals, which that year you won the Western Conference, to include making it to 2 Western Conference Finals. Oh crap, I got a cop coming up behind me. Oh, there's a guy broke down. Looks like a tire came off. Help was coming up behind that guy. Because I took an exit, and in the median between the exit and the road, a car was sitting there. So, made it to 2 Western Conference Finals. Won 1, lost 1. And the year that we made it to the Western Conference Finals was the year that Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley dove into his knee while he called timeout. He called timeout, and Patrick Beverley dove into his knee. Patrick Beverley is one of the dirtiest players in the league. Took out Russell Westbrook in the first round, and we still made it to the Western Conference Finals. If we had Russell Westbrook, we would have made it to the NBA Finals and more than likely won the championship that year. So, what a great first chapter for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And thank you, Russell Westbrook. I mean, and it'll be a story of triple doubles. Russell Westbrook became the first player ever to 3 years in a row average a triple-double. 3 years in a row. Averaged a triple-double 3 years in a row. Won an MVP. We had 2 MVPs during that time. Kevin Durant won the NBA MVP. Russell Westbrook won the NBA MVP. And averaged a triple-double for 3 consecutive years. Oh, come on. This is one reason I don't like Texas. Anytime I'm driving in the left lane and there's a vehicle going slow in the left lane, I look up and it has Texas plates. But that's a different story. I'm proud of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm proud of what they built. And this rebuild is gonna get started. I mean, it's already started. It is freaking hot today. It's over 100 degrees. Heck, let me check the temperature real quick. Come on. 100 degrees on my... Oh, close up with the belly. Can you see that? 100 degrees. And come on, you idiot. You're in the left lane. I'm gonna need gas before I go to work tomorrow. Yeah, it is freaking hot today. And good Lord. And this first chapter is a good one. I mean, any organization would like to have, out of an 11-year span, to make the playoffs 10 of those 11 years. Freaking Texas. Would love to make the playoffs 10 out of those 11 years. Okay, I'm starting to repeat myself, so I'm going to say, end of this. I will continue to root for the Thunder. I am a Thunder fan. I always will be a Thunder fan. I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, even though I live in Norman now. I was still born and raised in Oklahoma City. And they are the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm always going to root for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The time I stop rooting for them is probably if they ever move to a different spot, to a different town, which I doubt very seriously because they have one of the highest corporate sponsorships and are continuously sold out. And just the way the entire state of Oklahoma has embraced the Thunder. Or embraced basketball, period. So, I'm going to get off here. See ya.